Well, welcome back to the channel, guys. So, continuing on with the Escalation League. Today I'm playing Seb's Tau, the old Greater Good. I brought, of course, my Blood Angels. So, we've gone with the deployment of Spearhead from the core rulebook, playing the Scouring again. So, we will roll off in a minute to see which of our different objectives are the most and the weakest. And then we'll get round one underway. Okay, so we're going to roll to see which of these objectives is the important one. And it will be number 2, which is all the way back here. And then the least important, number 6, which is there. So in two quite, one in back lines, one in the middle. It's not too bad. Cool, so I'm going to try to seize because Seb is going first at the moment. And stealing is good when it comes to seizing. And I roll a 1, so yeah, that's not happening. Cool, so we're going to have Seb's movement and then we'll come back. Alright, so after a bit of measuring and calculating Seb's movement, not much has moved. So his characters have moved up behind the building. He's probably just trying to keep a bit of line of sight against my snipers. All the fire warriors have come running out, just to cap, and the broadsides haven't moved, so they get to keep their +1 to hit.
They're going to reroll to hit because of Shadow Sun, and they didn't move this turn.
Cool, have they all got Sense of Stone as well?
And all of these units
have got Sense of Stone, so they've got this Feel No Pain as well. Cool, so Seb's going to go into his shoot phase, so we're going to see what dies this turn. Okay, so Seb has fired his fire warriors at the scouts, managing to kill 1 scout after 2 squads fired at them. And we're about to fire the broadsides. A lot of the shots are going into the eliminators, of course, because they're a heavy target sat over here, and so I have to shoot through walls. And some of them are going into the scouts, just to try and finish off my mortal woundage, and being able to just pop his characters if they get out too close. So
I'm going to start with the high yield missile pods from here into the scouts. And I've used the stratagem that allows me to reroll to wound, which is called command and control node. So I will be hitting on 4s rerolling, wounding on 3s rerolling with all of these weapons.
Ooh. So
the first 8 shots up at the scouts, rerolling to hit. 2 misses. And wounding on 3s rerolling. And these don't ignore cover, and they're -1 AP, so the scouts will have a 3-up.
So 5 3-ups. 2 are dead, but I am going to command point 1 of them, so I'm down to 6 command points. He is fine, so only 1 dies.
And then 8 high yield missile pod shots into this unit. Rerolling to hit. That was a lot of misses. And that made up for it. And then these are wounding on 3s rerolling as well. That is 6 2-up saves.
6 2-ups. And they're all fine. Ooh. But here comes the rest of it.
And this is the smart missile pod, so these are ignoring cover, so this is what I really need to do the work. Rerolling to hit. That was not enough hits. We'll see if 3s to wound will be good enough.
Oh, at least you're getting the rerolls on that as well.
Reroll to wound. Alright, that is 5, 9 wounds, and this is no AP but ignoring cover, so just a 3-up save.
Yep, so 9 3-ups. So 1, 2, 3, 4 fails.
And that is 4 wounds.
4 wounds, so that is 2 dead. Awesome. Anything else shooting this turn?
That is the end of my first shooting phase, and
cool.
In fact the end of my first turn.
Yep, because there's no charges from you, so going into Blood Angels turn 1.
After morale.
After morale, of course. He's
lost 2, but you've taken the sergeant away.
Yep, so
his
on
leadership's 6 he runs.
Which is fine.
And you lost 2 here, so they're fine as well.
Yeah, they're fine as well. Awesome. Okay, so movement done for the Blood Angels. Not much has happened. Scouts have popped up so they can get a better line of sight on these Fire Warriors. Try and get rid of a bit of obsec. Tactical Marines will come around the corner as well to try and pot some shots off. Intercessors and the Lieutenant are just moving across just to start getting some shots onto the, well, see what we can. Won't be able to shoot anything this turn, but at least I'm moving. And the Eliminator stand still because there's no point because I could just shoot through a wall. So we're going to go into shooting and see what happens. So the Blood Angels have had such a fantastic shooting phase. We've killed one Fire Warrior. So there's no charges. So slowly inking around, measuring up both sides. So we're going to go into Seb's movement for the next turn and see what happens.
Okay, so I've finished moving here and I'm worried about the Slam Captain. So I've moved everyone around a bit to help as best I can. So the broadside's moved all the way across and the drone's spread out in front with the full strength Fire Warrior squad spreading out on that side and the slightly weaker unit moving back to protect any deep strike from behind and Shadow Sun on the flank. Now I'm going to try and shoot at some Tactical Marines.
Okay, so revenge is a dish served cold when Tau fire everything into Tactical Marines and they shrug it and they only kill one scout thanks to an extra minus. So we're going, no more charges. So we're definitely going into turn 3 Blood Angels. Turn 2 Blood Angels, thank you very much. Okay, so after Blood Angels movement, Scouts and the Tactical Squad stayed still so I can get the Doctrine Bolt Discipline on the Tacticals, so at least they're getting 6 shots when there's only 3 of them left. I advanced the Lieutenant and the Intercessors across because I need to get them firing at least by next turn. And the Eliminator stayed still because I've got a pretty good vision on everything I want to put out. Slam Captain's still in reserve. He probably, well, we have to come down next turn. So I'm going to try and clear some space for him. But we're going to see what we can do. So I'm going to go into shooting and see what happens. Okay, so a bit of better shooting. The Tactical Marines with 6 shots managed to get rid of 2 drones, which was great. Scouts didn't really do anything, which there's only 2 of them, so I'm kind of losing shots. The Eliminator popped a shot straight at the Ethereal, and he managed to get 1 wound through, because he did 1 wound. So he's down to 3, so we're going to go into Seb's turn 3 and see what he can come up with.
Okay, so Tau movement turn 3. This is the final chance for the Slam Captain to come in. So with the death of the 2 drones, everyone has spread back out again around the broadsides, hoping to keep them alive. Even Shadow Sun doing her job to screen out a little bit. And we will try and do a little bit of shooting, see if we can finish off these Tactical Marines, and maybe the Scouts, before eventually these Intercessors show up and ruin my day. Odds are into the final Eliminator, and that I need to reroll the hit, and I get 4 hits. Winning on 3s, re-rolling for 4 saves with AP -1, so they still get a 2 up.
Which are all fine. So, lost the Tacticals, lost the Scouts. Oh, they're down just to my Intercessors and 1 Eliminator. Going into turn 3 Blood Angels. So, after movement, Slam Captain's dropped down here. Going to probably try and go for a triple charge into these Fire Warriors and then try and consolidate onto the broadsides. Advanced the Intercessors and the Lieutenant, probably going more for the actual point because that is the primary one, and that'll get me 4 points because I'm currently not holding anything else. And the Eliminator stayed still because he's still in a great vantage point for the Ethereal, so he'll probably potentially go after him again, or we might try and get rid of some drones. So we're going to go into shooting and see what happens. End of the shooting phase, the only thing that could shoot was the Eliminator. He managed to take another wound off the Ethereal. Out of Sensor Stone, managed to save the other 2, which would have killed him, which is kind of annoying, but hey, that's what Sensor Stone's there for. So we're going to do the charge. So of course I'm spending a command point to get the 3d6 charge. So I'm declaring everything because I'm immune to Overwatch, so I can't actually be shot by anything. But the only thing that is really in range is the Fire Warriors. So we're going to see what I can get. Let's hope I can get a 9 the first time. Well, 13. Definitely gets me in there. So we're going to measure up and see where he ends up.
So the Slam Captain made it in, jumped all the way over, ready to, if he kills this Fire Warrior squad, just got 5 men still, then he can consolidate into the broadside. Alright, and you have how many attacks with a Slam Captain?
So you get 4 basic, and then 1 for shock assault, thanks to the new codex stuff, and then 1 because he has the Death Company keyword. So I get 1 for on the charge, so I've got 6. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and then I'll be wounding on 2s. So 2s are a fail. So 4 go through. So it's not going to be the squad. And then wounding on 2s. Oh, 2 1s, wow. Only killed 2 of them. At -4, they don't get a save. So they are.
But how much damage is it each?
4 damage.
So
each.
the first one fails, Sense of Stone, and the second one also fails, Sense of Stone. 2 dead.
Woohoo!
And they are going to pass morale thanks to the ethereal. But before that,
I'm going to
he would be able to consolidate. He'll stand there. And 3 CP to fight them again.
Yes, but I lose shock assault this turn.
No, you still get shock assault.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's 1 to your attack characteristic.
Okay.
For the remainder of the phase.
So same again. Reroll the 1s. Well, that's a lot better. And then wounding on 2s. So that's 6 saves. Well, no saves. So it's 2, 4, 8, 12, 24.
I roll them.
Saves.
I'm going to roll 6 of them. Oh, they all died. What a surprise. That is the end of the squad. And then the Slam Captain will be able to consolidate into the broadsides.
After Seb's movement phase, we've had the broadsides fall back away from the captain, but they can't shoot, which is kind of a bit of a favour for me. The Ethereals ran back and decided that he's now a Space Marine and is using Storm of Fire.
So that the guys who stood still, who were within 6 at the beginning, will now be rerolling 1s to hit. Cool. Hopefully I can take out the captain.
Yes, we have 5 wounds and I have 2 command points with a 3-up save. Let's see what happens. Okay, I can breathe a little now. Pulse Rifles managed to knock 2 wounds off. Then Shadow Sun came bursting in with a melter, and I had to actually use one of my CPs to make sure he's still alive because I rolled a 1. Rerolled it into a 5, so he is safe with 3 wounds. Going for any charges with the Tau?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to have some charges. So we're going to come back after they've charged and we'll do the combat phase for Tau. So 2 drones have gone to combat. So we're going to roll and see what damage they can do. They're hitting on 1 hit.
1 wound.
1 wound. Oh. And he's fine with 5. Now I get my hits back. I only get 5. Because there's no charging.
You were charged though.
I was
So
charged.
he gets Shock Assault, but he does not get Black Rage.
Yeah, Black Rage. So 3 hits. 3 wounds.
3 invulnerable saves.
3 invuns.
And I will spend a CP reroll. And then it does 4 damage.
Yep.
So the one that goes through, I get Feel No Pain saves against. And he does die, but only just.
Only just. Oh,
So that will stop the Slam Captain from charging next turn.
that does. So we're going to move into turn 4 for the Blood Angels. So, the Blood Angels player is going to play the game, not the enemy. So the Eliminators moved down, so I'm capping that one. The Intercessors have moved up. They will be shooting, because they haven't advanced. And Lieutenant will be shooting at some broadsides. But they're going for the primary and probably secondary. Try and get me some more points. Well, Slamcap has stayed where he was, because I'm just going to crush a drone in half with a hammer. So we're going to move on into my shooting phase and see what we can do. So, after a bit of shooting, the sniper fired across at the Fire Warriors, did nothing. So did the Intercessors, killed 1 of them. And then the Lieutenant with the Mastercraft fired at the broadsides and again did nothing. So we're going to go into my Slam Captain, destroying a drone. Okay, so going in 4 attacks, because I don't get any of my extra specials, because I was still in combat. So, rerolling the 1, 4 hits. Running on 2 3s actually. No, it's still 2, so I'm strength 8.
Yep.
For 1.
2. You rolled a 2 and a 5.
Okay, so
2,
2.
4 up invulnerable saves.
Oof.
And I will...
4 damage.
I am thinking about CPing this one. Or do I want to save that command point, I wonder. I will save my final CP, and instead I will just have to take 4, 5 up invulnerable, 5 up feel no pains, and the drone is dead.
And then I get to consolidate 3 inches.
Towards the closest, which is Shadow Sun, I think. Okay, so turn 5 movement for the Tau. We've advanced some Fire Warriors to try and take the primary objective. If we can clear out enough of those intercessors, my objective secured might take it if the game ends this turn. And we moved Shadow Sun all the way across here with an advance, because I'm going to use my last command point again to buff the broadsides rerolling to wound, which will get me Slay the Warlord and take out this Slam Captain, and we'll see how that goes. The Ethereal stood where he is, probably could have hidden a bit better, but giving reroll 1s to hit to the broadsides, who stood still. So we're into my shooting phase, and I've got to deal with the Slam Captain, and I've got to try and deal with these intercessors. So with the rerolling 1s with the broadsides and rerolling to wound, I've decided to fire the complement from 1 into Slam Captain and all the guns from the other into the intercessors, because I don't know, I'm trying to just win and hope for the best.
Yeah, and Shadow Sun and your Fire Warriors are both advanced.
So, yeah, so they can't fire, but she can't fire because she's given the broadsides reroll to wound, which I think is stronger. Alright, let's start off with the high yield missile pods from here to here.
Yep.
This is really if this does the job, then everything is good. Rerolling 1s.
Oh.
I'm going to use no, I'm not going to use my ability on that. I can just try and save Ethereal's ability to reroll damage. Rerolling 3s to wound. There we go, 5 armor saves on the Slam Captain.
So,
Passes
all
them
fine.
all. And smart missiles into the Slam Captain. This now needs to do something amazing, and I haven't done enough. So I'm going to use the Ethereal's ability to reroll to hit. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, at least that paid off.
And then I am going to need 3 to rolling for another 5 saves, Tom.
3, 4, 5. And
6
1
up, feel no pain.
6 up, no pain. And
it's fine.
He's fine. He's just soaked all that. Oof.
So now I've got to do the same thing, but into the
intercessors. Well, unfortunately, I don't get the same sort of saves I just had, so we'll see what happens.
So this is the high yield missile pods. Rerolling 1s. For 3 hits. That's okay. 3s to wound rerolling, and 6s are additional AP. Just 2 saves at -1.
So 2 4-ups.
And that's D3 damage.
D3.
1 dead.
1 dead.
And then high yield missile pods, 8 shots. Rerolling 1s. And 3s to wound. 6s are AP 1. And 2 regular saves.
So 2 regulars. Both fine. And then the AP 1 also fine.
So I have a grand total of 1 intercessor dead in the whole of the turn.
Any charges coming from the tower?
No, unfortunately I advanced with too many units. Tying up the Slam Captain for another turn might have been required from the Shadow Sun, but I decided to get over there to try and get to the objective later on.
Okay, so we're going to go into Blood Angels turn 5. It's the final turn for Blood Angels, and then we'll come back with movement.
Okay, so Blood Angels movement for turn 5. This could be the last turn. The Eliminator is standing on his objective. Lieutenant is standing on his objective. The intercessors are standing on the primary objective worth 4. And the Slam Captain looks like he's 1 inch away from my Warlord. That could be interesting. So not the most successful shooting phase yet. The Slam Captain here throwing a grenade to the Ethereal, taking it down to 1 wound. And nothing else happening. So you're going to declare charges.
Yes, so my Slam Captain is going to declare your Ethereal and broadsides.
And there's still no Overwatch.
Yeah, so he's just going to go 2d6 for a grand total of 7. So he will probably just pop round to there.
And then, presumably, take both their heads off.
Yes, the intercessors are going to pile into them as well.
No Overwatch here because I can't see him.
For 3 inches, which would be a fail.
Because I don't think there's any way you can... Can you stand there? I think you can stand on the far side of the wall and be within 1 inch of me.
Be there. And then 1 there, 1 there, 1 there.
Okie dokie.
Oh.
And we will finish off that one. And we might film this one. So the intercessors here not doing as much damage as I expected. With 13 attacks, they managed to kill 1 fire warrior due to some great saves. But the real clutch bit here, you're starting with 6 attacks, and then you're doing your last CP for a red rampage to get an additional D3.
Which of course gets me 3.
So you have 9 attacks. How are you going to split them, sir?
I'm going to put 2 into the Ethereal and then 7 into the broadsides.
Excellent.
So we'll do the 2 on the Ethereal first. So hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s of course. So 2 hits. Winning you on 2s. For 2, that's 8 damage.
That's 1 dead ethereal. And then 7 attacks into the broadsides?
Yeah. 3.
Still hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Yep. Reroll the 1s. And these 2 are misses.
And still wounding on 2s.
Oh, that's poor.
Is that 3?
That's 3, minus 4.
Minus 4.
By 3.
Minus 3, that
4
makes more
damage.
sense. So I start with a 2 up, so these are 5 up saves. And I pass 1, so I take 8 damage. So one of these broadsides will be dead.
And the Ethereal.
And then the captain will try and consolidate in 3. And that will be the end of the shooting phase, with me not in combat. Sorry, end of the combat phase, with me not in combat.
Yes.
Right, so if the game ends now, with the primary objective here, secondary one here, and here, I think Tom is going to win by a large margin.
Yeah, because that
the
one
player
will be contested as well.
Yeah, we both, this one neither of us control.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't get to this one. So the player who went first rolls a dice, and on a 1 or a 2, the game is over. The game continues into turn 6, Tau. So Tau turn 6 movement. The fire warriors fell back here. If by some miracle the intercessors all die, then I will take the primary objective. But they could easily now be killed by the lieutenant. Over here, since I didn't have to fall back, the broadside can now shoot, but with no rerolls remaining, and now half the firepower, I'm going to have to rely on Commander Shadowsun to somehow kill the Slam Captain. So let's do that now. 2 fusion gun shots. Of course, miss once. I need a 2 to wound. Wounds, and then a 3 up invulnerable save. Which the Slam Captain fails, and it's 2d6. Pick the highest. This is going to be Slay the Warlord on a 3. 6 damage. 6 feel no pain saves from the Slam Captain.
Here comes 6 6s.
Well, you only need 4, and you'll still be alive. That is not enough. The Slam Captain takes 4 wounds for Slay the Warlord back. And then we will fire the broadside into the intercessors. Okay, so after the 1 remaining broadside fired, he's killed 2.5 of the intercessors, so there is 1.5 remaining. And that currently means that this objective is contested. 2 objectives secured models each, but now we're going into turn 6. Blood Angels.
Okay, so Blood Angel's movement, not much has moved. Eliminator stayed still. Same with the Lieutenant. Moved one Marine round. Going into shooting, I'm probably going to plow everything into 2 Fire Warriors to make sure I secure that properly. So we're just going to do the shooting and see what happens.
So the turn 6, it's all come down to these objectives, these really crucial, including the primary here. You can see there are no Fire Warriors left after they unloaded. So I think now, if the game ends at the end of turn 6, the score will be a decisive win to the Blood Angels. The player who went second now rolls a dice, and on a 1, 2, 3, 4, the game ends. On a 6, the game continues into turn 7, the tension rises. Tau up next. Okay, so movement phase, Commander Shadow Sign advanced, trying to get close enough to the primary objective, then hopefully somehow I clear out those intercessors. Only rolling a 2 and with no CP left in the game, not in range, but it is within 18 of the lieutenant. So let's see what can happen in the shooting phase. So that is the end of the Tau turn 7, and after some very lucky shooting, but not as lucky as it could have been, shooting, the broadside managed to wipe out both of the intercessors that were remaining here, which allowed Commander Shadowsun to fire both fusion guns after advancing into the lieutenant, who was scoring behind enemy lines, and 2 points, killing him. And now if the smart missiles had somehow managed to take out the eliminator, then that would have been a tabling and it would Tau victory. But with the eliminator standing, we think that means the Space Marines have 3 victory points, and so do the Tau.
Yep, it's a draw.
And it is a draw. I don't think the Eliminator can do anything in Tom's turn, so we're going to call the game there.
Good game,
Well
bud.
played. I can't believe that went to turn 7, and it's somehow a tie. Thank you very much for watching. What a fantastic finish. Check out the other videos.